So I noticed when I did that comparison video between the X-H1, which I'm filming on right now, and my X-T4, I received a read error. Well, actually, what I originally noticed when I was editing the video is the X-H1 clip. Basically, at a certain point, and I'll insert it at some point in this video, maybe later or in between, but the audio continues, but like the video part of it freezes for a second, or like my face freezes and you continue to hear talking and then it moves. And it's like a second or less, maybe a half second. Eye detection for video. Eye detection only works in stills, whereas the T4. But I've seen it before, and I think I just always assumed it was some editing artifact, like importing it into my iPad Pro that caused the problem, something like that. I just didn't think too much of it, and I had been moving to shooting more and more of these videos on my X-T4, so I wasn't really dealing with it because it was only something I was noticing on the X-H1. This time, though, I was kind of like, peculiar. This is peculiar. Like, I gotta investigate this a little bit more. And I was looking at it more, and I noticed when I played back the video on the camera, so like on the SD card, still in the X-H1, if I played it back, and I'll definitely put in some clips at least towards the end of this video, or maybe in between, but if you're watching it, it will literally stop playing at that point where there was like an issue, like corruption, and it will just say read error.
It glitched.
So the even though the video file was recorded on the X-H1, it can't even handle playing it back past that spot, which is very interesting because on the that same file imported into the MacBook Pro, sorry, in the iPad Pro, it will play it. Like whether I'm watching it in the Photos app after import or when I'm editing it in LumaFusion. The video will freeze, like I said, for like a half second to a second, but the audio continues, and then the rest of the video plays fine. Very strange. All I could find online were people talking about just Fujifilms in general, not specifically the X-H1, and they're saying basically once you import files from the card, supposedly the computer, or in my case, if this is the problem, I don't know if I believe it. They claim whatever device, computer they're really talking about that you import the files on, it's actually writing some proxy file, I don't know, some type of little file structure to the SD card, and that will cause subsequent videos recorded on that same card without a format to get corrupted. That's insane. So if that is the case, that's unacceptable that Fujifilm can't deal with that, because normal use case for me with all of my cameras is I record some clips, take the card out, put it on the computer, or sorry, in my case, an iPad, import them, and then put that card back in the camera. And I don't necessarily format the card every time because maybe there's some other clips that I haven't either edited yet, or maybe I haven't even, or maybe I have imported them, but I just don't want to delete them off the card yet because I want like a backup copy. Even though I have it on my iPad, maybe I want a second copy still on that card, and I'm not at a, the storage space isn't at a limit yet. So it's very weird, and I do the exact same thing with the X-T4. And yes, I don't shoot as much video with the X-E3, but I've done the same thing with that. Never had any of these problems. So if that really is the case, that's very strange. I almost wonder, is it this card, like this particular SanDisk card, is has some kind of problem, or it's something to do with the XT or X-H1 itself. So that's kind of what I'm curious about. So I figured I would post a video talking about this. This is an actually experiment to see if this video has any of the freezes or corruption. I will. I guess, see, what doesn't make any sense is like when I imported that file, that should have been the original import, unless I guess it could have had those files on it supposedly from a computer or device. So when I recorded it, it got corrupted, I guess. But I don't know. That just doesn't. That seems questionable. But this is a formatted card, and I haven't put it in any device other than it's been in the X-H1 since it's formatted. What I plan to do is put this in my iPad Pro, import it, see if there's any issue. I'll probably scan it back first to find out up front, because I had recorded some other clips and they didn't have this issue. So I don't know what exactly is the cause, because I had recorded 2 clips, I think, but I was kind of, I was trying to get to that. I thought it had something to do with the time standpoint, which is about 4 minutes, 15 seconds.
So I just realized something else. I can actually just fast forward it through, and when it gets to that point, which happened to be 4 minutes and 5 seconds, it fails. So you'll see. It will get the read error. The video is longer than that, and it actually plays, and see, I got to like 4 minutes and 11 seconds, I think.
And I recorded 2 like 5-minute videos after after I observed this problem. Neither of them had the freeze.
Recorded another video. I think it was just time based, and this one can get past the 4:11 or 4:05, whatever it is. So it doesn't seem like it's time specific. You'll see. So I'm about to do some more tests. So I got the 4:32.
So I don't know. That makes me really question, what is the true cause? Is it the X-H1? Is there some kind of flaw with it? Is it just me and it's my SD card? I don't know. But very concerning. Not something, it wasn't something I definitely dealt with in the past with this camera, so it's weird. Is it a new issue? Is the card, on the way out? Maybe the card's gonna get. I've never had issues with the SD cards. Maybe I'm finally having an issue. I don't know, but I've never experienced this with other cameras. So curious to see. Likely this video won't even have a problem, and I can't recreate it. But maybe what that means is I need to, anytime I ever plan to plug this card into a computer to import, or in my case an iPad, to import the files, I need to plan to basically import everything and format that card, because I won't be able to record more videos on that card. That's pretty lame. I don't have to do that with the X-T4. That could be a reason, to maybe sell this camera and move on and just stick with the X-T4. But I'm more trying to, I guess figure out what is the scenario that causes this, or what is the root cause. So mostly just recording this to, I guess, try to see if I can recreate it, but more importantly, I guess verify. Maybe if I do this every time, always have the freshly formatted card. If I never run into the problem again, maybe that is more evidence. But I figured I'd talk about it as too. I don't know. There's been a few comments on some of the other X-H1 videos I posted. Have you guys experienced this? Are you shooting any video on this camera? Let me know if you have, and then also, can you tell the difference between this and the last, few videos where I used to be doing the T4? Does this actually look any worse? It has more of a crop, but you wouldn't know if I just kind of reposition everything. And the detail, I feel like, is basically the same, at least for this kind of basic talking head stuff. Maybe this camera isn't as bad as I was kind of telling myself. I think is gas to buy another camera. I think for this use case, I should say, of a talking head, I think it's actually probably pretty capable. But this SD card thing is driving me crazy. So later.